Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 30th of December, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That gets us well into January, and I shall get to it back for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video today was our 6 AM upload, and we've also released the EC 30-day/6 week look ahead for UK, for the rest of Europe too, so check out those 2 videos if you'd like to do that. Please like, share, subscribe on vids. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. I'd like to say thank you so much to Lee Stevens for becoming a channel member for GavsWeatherVids. Did a live stream last night, and in the live stream had loads of donations. Thank you to all of you for your incredible super chats. And Lee Stevens became a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, so thank you so much to Lee for doing that. Amazing, incredible. Thank you so much, Lee. If you'd like to become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, all you need to do is click the join button that you see just there, and that will take you through to another page where you see what benefits you get for becoming a channel member. You can sign up on that page as well. Thank you so very much, Lee. But yeah, we have more PayPal donations as well. So I gotta say thank you so much to Jane Gregory and to my good friend Andrew Barker. City Andy. Thank you so much to Andy. Thank you so much to Jane for your PayPal donations. If you'd like to give a donation to GavsWeatherVids through PayPal, all you need to do is come to the GavsWeatherVids paypal.me page. You can find a link to that in the description with all of the videos. So come to our PayPal page, sign into your PayPal account, and you can donate whatever you want. You will get a mention and shout out in the video. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of the incredible support. Amazing. Wonderful. I'm always blown away by the support that you give to me and to GavsWeatherVids. So thank you so much to all of you. Right, well, let's start the video, Ben. Let's just have a little cough. There we go. So everybody, we're going to start off with the Arctic Oscillation observed and forecast chart today. So the black line shows where we've been with the Arctic Oscillation, the red lines and the black dash line at the end show where GFS ensembles are forecast for the Arctic Oscillation to go. So we've had a very negative Arctic Oscillation through the first half of December. We've been really down on the floor with the AO. This tells us we have had a considerable amount of northern blocking during the first half of December. We had lots of high latitude blocking that's forced the AO into very negative territory. The Arctic Oscillation is still very negative, actually, so despite that, but it has turned milder over the past day or so. Actually, we have still got a very considerable amount of northern blocking, and that's going to carry on for the next week or so. Through Christmas to New Year, we see the AO predicted to start moving back close to neutral, but even then, still staying on the negative side of neutral. So it looks as though this December is going to be a very solid sort of negative AO month, and considerable amounts of northern blocking. The only difference is that in the first half of December, the blocking was in a position to give cold weather to the UK and to Western Europe, whereas in the second half of December, the blocking will reposition, and other places, probably North America, are going to get the cold, whilst we are milder. The NAO also looks like this. So the black line shows again where we've been with North Atlantic Oscillation. Red lines at the end where GFS ensembles forecasting the NAO to go. Of course, we have the NAO going very negative as well through the first half of December. We're now around neutral with the North Atlantic Oscillation. And the GFS ensembles are forecasting that the NAO will stay around neutral to weekly positive in the next week, possibly going weekly negative towards the new year, but overall not deviating too far from neutral. So this is a sign of West is returning, albeit probably at a weakened rate compared to if we had a very positive NAO. But with the AO, negative AO sort of reducing, and the blocking shifting, and the NAO going into a more neutral phase, it tells us that the Atlantic is back in business and we're returning into more of a westerly scenario. Central temperature is beginning to start staging a recovery. We're currently standing at 1 degree, 1.0, which is still 3.5 degrees below average, so very considerable colder than average anomaly. That is provisional up to the 19th of December. that, of course, will carry on rising over the next few days as we have this milder spell of weather. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Northampton today. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton, and pick the bones out of this. Try and make sense of this. So at the moment we're about average, but on the mild side really with the upper air temperature. They go really quite mild again around 23rd of December. Then there is still a little bit of a drop that's taking place around Christmas, but it does look as though the GFS ensembles have pretty much eradicated the cold spell between Christmas and New Year. However, there is a huge amount of scatter within that, so you'll notice we have got very cold ensemble members down here. We've got an equal number of very mild ensemble members up there. So quite what we make of that, I don't know, but I think the cold spell between Christmas to New Year is in trouble. Actually, you'll see from our output in a moment, there are very few months that are going cold between Christmas and New Year. So I suspect Scotland will probably still get quite cold and may get some snowfall. So sorry once more, for Northern Ireland, Wales and England, we're probably going to keep it mild. I think the GFS and the weather gods have done it to us again 2 years running. They've eradicated a Christmas or a post-Christmas to New Year cold spell. In the extended range, getting into the beginning of January, the trend is towards milder weather as well, I think. Precipitation-wise, lots of rainfall to come. So deluge over the coming few days up towards Christmas, and even after that, looking really unsettled as well. Having a quick look at snow row, there are snow spikes there within the ensemble. So several of those ensemble members are still cold enough to be producing snow. But when we look at the overall 858 PA temperature, I'm just not convinced really that this cold period is going to come to anything between Christmas and the New Year. But again, there's so much scatter within that, you know, that it is difficult to decipher exactly what is going on from about as early as the 23rd or 24th of December, from around here really. It's very difficult to decipher what's going on within those ensembles. With some of those colder members down there, the milder members up here. But I think the GFS ensembles are trending towards milder weather between Christmas and New Year. Temperature anomalies shall be 20 to 28th of December, mild average for England, Wales and Ireland, but a little bit cold average for Scotland still. And precipitation anomalies from the 20 to 28th of December, largely on the wetter than average side. Latest wind program out from urbanlowschool.net shows that low pressure dominates the west of Scotland, and we're bringing in the wind from off the Atlantic Ocean today. Right, so this is our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking for midnight on Christmas Eve. Low pressure right over top of the country. Quite cold air into Scotland on the north side of that low. Could produce some snow for them. Rain further south, of course. When that low gets out of the way, we build up a little bit of transient ridge there for Christmas Day. So slightly colder on Christmas Day, but mostly dry. And then in comes the next low for Boxing Day, like Christmas night into Boxing Day. That spreads more wet weather in from off the Atlantic. As that bumps into cold air, if it gets far enough north, probably it will have to get to Scotland. If it gets far enough north, it could produce a little bit of snow. But down south, that's just going to be producing more wet weather. And up to the 27th of December, which is as far as we get to with the UK Met today, we keep it generally relatively mild, I think, with low pressure over the country and more spells of rain. Icon looks like that. So again, we've got lots of low pressure dominating weather from the 23rd, 24th of December. A little bit of a break with belows on Christmas Day, slightly dry and colder day for a while anyway. So the next low comes in from off the Atlantic. That brings more heavy rain into the south. Again, on the northern side of that low, maybe if it gets as far north as Scotland, might be a little bit of snow. Then that low clears out of the way to our east by 27th of December. We're putting in a colder northerly, so a little bit of cold snap, especially so in the northern half of the country by the 27th of December, struggling to get that cold air down to south because of this ridge over France. The GFS midnight run, again looking really unsettled for Christmas Eve. Deep low pressure over top of the country. Cold air is trying to get into Scotland, or is into Scotland. That low gets out of the way by Christmas Day. We've got a ridge through the country, a little bit colder and drier on Christmas Day. But look at this, next low comes in off the Atlantic. And I'm sorry again, everyone. Next low comes in off the Atlantic, Christmas Day to Boxing Day. Pulls the wind up from the south. That's a mild southerly wind that we got there between Christmas and New Year. So our cold spell has gone there between Christmas and New Year. Actually, we just draw up southerly winds with further spells of rain. By the New Year, we start turning things colder, so eventually this low goes down to Biscay, heights rise around Green and Iceland, the wind begins to pull into a colder north or northeasterly, and we have a wintry start to 2023. That low will produce snow in the south, but how seriously we take that, I'm not sure, given that just yesterday, the GFS was showing this for like just after Christmas. So, obviously it's put it back by about a week, and there's the upper air temperatures. They are turning very cold by the New Year, but again, how seriously we should take that, I'm just not sure. By the 2nd of January, we've got a properly cold northerly going on, courtesy of this mid-Atlantic ridge and Greenland block. Upper air temperatures still looking cold. And then the GFS midnight run keeps it cold, really, up to the very end, which gets us to the 5th of January. Generally, you're still in a cold scenario then. This is the precipitation forecast based on that GFS midnight run. So we've got plenty of wet weather coming and going over the next few days. And by the time we get through to Friday, some of that rain started to turn to snow up over Scotland. Into Christmas Eve, further wet weather for England and Wales, a little bit of snow for Scotland, Northern Ireland, and also Northern England. Bit of snow there, actually, 3 a.m. On Christmas morning, through parts of Wales and the Midlands, so that's quite interesting. Doubt it'll verify, but quite interesting. And then into Christmas Day itself, actually quite a dry day till late on, where wet weather starts piling in to the south and to the southwest. Some of that begins to turn to snow across parts of North Wales and the northwest of England as we go from Christmas Day to Boxing Day. Snow through Northern Ireland into Northern England, just into the North Midlands as well. And quite a snow event taking place on Boxing Day from Northern England up to Scotland, of course, further south. It's basically rain that we have then. And then further rain piling in with those southerly winds between Christmas and the New Year. A bit of a deluge type pattern. By the New Year, we're starting to turn colder, and the rain turning increasingly to snow by New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. But again, how seriously we should take that, I'm unsure. This is the GFS 6Z, and once more for Friday, looking unsettled with low pressure control. And when that low pressure stays with us into Christmas Eve as well, low pressure still knocking around the country on Christmas Day too. Keeping it generally unsettled, actually, for Christmas Day. No ridge for Christmas Day. You'll notice on the 6Z, so that's never changed. Just low pressure keeps further unsettled weather going. And we keep it unsettled, a little bit colder. Boxing Day to 27th of December, as that low pressure shifts east, as we start to pull in some colder air from the north. So a little bit cold between Christmas and New Year on the 6th, until eventually this low starts coming off the Atlantic, turns back into south again, and we go into I hope you're able to make sense of it, because I'm not able to make sense of it, I have to say. My brain is completely frazzled with what these models are doing at the moment. By New Year's Eve, we're looking like that, with low pressure out to our west, and we're sort of bringing like a mild southwesterly. We have got blocking trying to get to Scandinavia around the New Year, but that doesn't really come to much, and we just generally keep it quite mild and unsettled into the opening days of January. Precipitation forecast based on that GFS 6Z run looks like this. Further wet weather to come over the next few days. By Friday, some snow begins to turn up through Scotland and the far north of England as well. Let's get rid of that. And then beyond that, where do we get to? It's a Friday, didn't we? So, there we go. By Friday, plenty of wet weather piling in on that, and you'll see that into Christmas Eve, some snow across the north of England as well. It's a little bit turning up across Northern Ireland, so showers of Scotland, rain further south across England and Wales. Christmas Day looks like this. Plenty of wet weather on Christmas Day for England and Wales. A soggy, miserable Christmas Day. Some snow across the far north of Scotland. That's a big change from the midnight run to the 6Z run for Christmas Day. And then beyond that, so some snow coming into England and Wales for Boxing Day, with that area of low pressure a little bit surprisingly So snow from Boxing Day to the 27th of December on the GFS 6Z run. Remember, it's colder between Christmas and New Year on the 6Z. And then the New Year turns milder and wetter, windier, and whatnot. So I don't know what's going on with this, with the GFS at the moment. I'm not sure the upgrade has worked, but they did a couple of weeks ago. Right, anyway, if you're enjoying this video and able to make sense of it, then please do you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. We thank you so very much, everyone, for doing that. The GM looks like this. So, again, very unsettled on Friday into Christmas Eve. That low pressure stays around the country into Christmas Day as well, holding up the cold air. And then it tried to push southwards from the north. Another deep low there around the 27th of December. That looks quite stormy. And then beyond that, we just generally keep it quite mild. It is trying to raise the heights around Greenland and Iceland, but it's keeping us on the mild side of the areas of low. And finally, the ECM at WF looks like this. So Friday into Christmas Eve, very unsettled. Low pressure is in control. From Christmas Day to Boxing Day, something a little bit colder, starting to come into the north and northwest on those northwesterly winds, but not for long. Heading into the new year, the ECM turning things generally more Atlantic driven and milder. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from tometeo.com. Plenty of wet weather coming going over the next few days, so that turns to snow across the far north of England and into Scotland on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, we've got snow across Scotland, rain for England, Wales and Northern Ireland. By Boxing Day, bad precipitation turning increasingly to snow in the north as we bring in that colder air from the northwest. And then wintry showers really between Christmas and New Year for a while before it gets milder again, heading towards the New Year. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensemble Day 4, Day 10. For your sake, Microsoft gets us to the third shift of December. 29 members of the ECM Ensembles with high pressure to our south and west, low pressure to our northeast, generally bringing an Atlantic flow another mild. 22 though, considerable minority option with high pressure around Iceland, and that will be much colder with winds in from the east. So there is a minority option within the ECM ensembles to be cold by the end of December, but the majority option is the mildest option. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 4th of January, 19 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our south, so that could be generally quite mild, despite having a lot of northern blocking. 18, again, with low pressure to the northwest, high pressure to our south, but also to our northeast as well. Low pressure with that is keeping wind in from west and from the southwest. And then we've got 14 here that have a Scandinavian high. This is the coldest option. Winds coming in from an easterly direction. Looks like the ECM ensembles have shifted towards a milder direction for early January. Finally, CFSB2 beats a 500 millibar high anomalies break down into week periods. The first week period takes from 26th of December. Coming week is unsettled and relatively mild with low pressure in from off the Atlantic. Week 2 is going to be the 27th of 2nd of January, high pressure ridging through much of Western Europe and into the North Atlantic as well. That's very close to turning things cold, but most of the cold is actually with this trough of low pressure across Scandinavia and northeastern parts of Europe. Week 3 is going to be the 3rd to the 9th of January. High pressure then sits over slightly to the east of the country. That's probably going to be frost and fog, I would have thought, with that. And then week 4 looks mild. It's the 10th to the 16th of January. High pressure moving away to the east, low pressure deepening around Iceland and Greenland. Winds back in from the southwest. That is a mild second week to January. And we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. And we thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that. What a mess those models are. I just can't work out what's going on there. Between the GFS in particular, really flip-flopping about from run to run, ensembles all over the place. I think we're losing the chance of cold weather between Christmas and New Year overall. But, you know, there's still enough uncertainty there to say, but we might get a final flip or something. So watch this space and we'll see what happens. tomorrow we're going to have 6 a.m. upload USA forecast, probably a final Christmas countdown installment episode, whatever you want to call it. And going to be live streaming our 10 to 14 day at 6 p.m. So I shall see you live tomorrow at 6. But for this video and for today's video, that's all for now. I'm going to go and have a lie down in a darkened room because those models are really giving me a headache. Trying to work it all out. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. For this video, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.